Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here and welcome back to another episode on the YouTube channel. In today's episode, we've got a monster game as we play Leicester at the King Power Stadium in a game that will decide if we are title contenders or title pretenders. With that being said, we're of course live on stream, so the links are down below to follow us on the live stream on Twitch. We also ask if you are enjoying the content to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and leave a comment to let me know how you're going in your main save so far on Football Manager. With that being said, we've got a few things to discuss, but the first big major one is I have scouted, I have found some very good youngsters coming in, and I'm going to show you exactly what I've been using for scouting to find these youngsters. Right? And I've already scouted these two guys, but anytime someone pops up on this list, we have a look. So what I do is I call this the 1736 method. 36 total stats for an outfielder I select, and then from there we obviously work our way down to a range that works for us. So I've gone 17 from 11, which I think if you have, to be fair, I think if you have 15 stats of 15 plus, you're going to be world class. But if you've got 17 stats of 11 plus, there's a large chance a lot of those stats are going to get to 15 and make you a very good footballer. So the guys that I've signed were on this list, and there's a couple of guys here. Not everybody always has that potential. As you can see, Andrea Matto looks okay as a kid, and Flavinio doesn't look that great. Now, if I was to take this off, though, right, and go by reputation, for instance, right, you've got a kid like this at Barcelona that pops on this list. You know, you got this kid that's wanted by Manchester City that pops on this list. So I call this the 1736 method. If you were trying to search for the best Wonderkids around, you'd probably move it to something like 13, maybe even move it to 15. Play around till you start seeing people. I'm going to guarantee you all three of these 17-year-olds are going to look worldy. You know, this guy at 17 years of age is already probably a good enough player for us in the championships. Already made a cap for AC Milan. You got this guy out in Malroca who is actually fairly cheap and definitely worth scouting if we make it to the Prem. And Pedro Orellana's only got a 4.1 mil release fee. Wow. This is why you do this sort of stuff. Have a look at him. He's already got 19 aggression, 15 anticipation, 17 bravery, decisions, determination, flair, heading, passing, technique. If there's ever been a guy that is going to go play in the hole for you, that is him. We're just going to add him into the book quickly. You've thrown me, Pedro. Pedro Orellana, 4.1 mil. He's at Sevilla, so it'll be hard to prize him away, to be fair, for a while. Centre attacking mid. But this is what I do to scout. Live look. It's the first time I've actually looked for kids that we can't actually sign. Right? Say if you're doing it for world-class talent, you know, I'd actually go to 15, move this age all the way out to 45, right? And you look at the guys that come up on this list, right? Even then, you probably go 16, 15s, right? All of a sudden, you got Mbappe, Haaland, Bruno, right? And this is why when you go and do the scouting, you move it down to a point where you're like, okay, you know, 13s, you know, or whatever, age down to 18, 17, whatever you want to do when you're looking for your regens, you know, and who comes up on this list is the question, you know, and that's what you do. All of a sudden, you get you down to 14 players. Not one of them is going to want to come in on this list, as we can tell. But, you know, these are probably your best 14 well-rounded Wonderkids on the save here at the moment. And that's what you look for. That's exactly what you look for. This guy called Rui Silva's apparently really cheap. We'll give him a scout too. It's all about just finding these kids and seeing what comes out, etc. So that's how we found these kids, and that's my best scouting method for young kids, young Wonderkids, especially when you're a lower reputable club. And then these are the kids that come up. Now, I'm going to talk about Jared Currington last, because he does join me, and he's actually the one that's the most exciting. I put him in my Discord. I'm going to talk about in order of importance for us. First one is Ian Munro. Now, Ian Munro came up on the list, and if you have a look at him, he's fairly well-rounded, but he's not overly great. C rating, and sometimes you've got to take the ratings with a pinch of salt. Like, obviously, very good scout, but he's someone that if he plays well in the 18s, that gets the 5-star potential. You know, you look at Tyler Owen, at times he goes down to 4-star when he's out of form, and then 5-star when he's in form. So, you know, someone like this, putting him in the club, you know, very well-rounded, think that's definitely worth it. Considering we bought him for £4,000, 4K, we basically just paid for a brand new, as you can see here, 4K, basically paid for the, you know, to refurnish the pub down there at RAF Rovers. They're pretty happy. Okay. Next one that I think's of importance is Chika Diop. Now, Diop's got an A- match, scout rating. It's done by Chris Bolden, who he's not the worst at judging potential. Very cheap contract. Didn't want a lot of money. In the end, we've signed him for 120 clay plus add-ons, which I think is absolutely fantastic. When you look at him, you're going, could be physically a bit of a monster. More importantly, mentally, determination. Got a lot of mentals that are very good. I will say technically maybe lacks a little bit, but he's the sort of guy that I'm actually thinking about playing on the left-hand side as the inverted wing back and to replace eventually Lyons Foster. I think with that potential, if we stay in the championship, he's going to be here on an ESC allocated space in the squad next year. If we're not up in the Premier League, this is a guy that we're going to definitely give minutes to at 18 years of age. And coming from Diambars, a very reputable Senegalese club, I think this guy will break into the Senegalese national team moving forward. Next on the list is Goudiaby. This guy is someone that I wish could come in now because finding halfbacks is hard. This guy as a halfback is going to be playing first-team football for us in the Premier League. Look how good he looks. Marking his natural positioning is not bad. Decisions are okay, but that's generally the stuff that grows the quickest. Natural tackler with teamwork, work rate, and has got very good physicals and is 6 foot. I just think this kid's going to develop. If he was coming in now in the January window, he would be borderline playing the weaker games over Josh Lorient, and there will be times that I would be tempted to start Josh in the ball-winning midfielder role and play Amadou in the defensive midfielder role. Both those boys are joining at the start of next season on the 9th of the 6th when the window opens and they officially are 18 and can move. Which, look, that's fair enough. Those are the rules. I would love him in right now. He's definitely going to play. Even if we go up, I think Goudiaby is going to be someone that definitely gets game time. Now, Jared Cunnington is a centre-back at Ebbsfleet. Now, at the moment, I don't know if he's going to show up as their best player. It doesn't. He was their best player. When he came up on the list, I could not believe it. Have a look at the mentals at 18 years of age. 17 determination, very well-rounded. Only things are 8 or higher, which is perfect. If you look at the physicals, jumping reach of 8 because he's 5'10", everything else is higher. If you have a look at the technicals, got the heading, marking, and tackling, and natural great tackling. Can pass a football as well, got 12 vision. So if you work that first touch, you've got quite the ball-playing defender moving forward. I'm just looking at this guy going, get him in now, play him some minutes in the championship. Get him developing. If you do not go up this year, this is a kid that's going to be your third choice centre-back next year and probably playing a lot of minutes for you. If you go up this year, this is the sort of kid that you're looking at going, yet again, you keep him at the club, you try and keep him homegrown, you play him in the odd game in the Premier League, throw him to the Wolves, see if he develops. Between him, Ian Munro, Diaby, or, whatever his name was, the first part of that Diaby name, Goudiaby and Diop, these are all guys that have the potential to feature in the first team. 3 of those 4, and Diop, Cunnington, and Goudiaby, I think, will feature in the first team in the not-too-distant future. Obviously, Munro will go straight into the 18s when he joins. Cunnington's definitely going to go in and around the first team when he joins, and we have got some really good signings, and it's all down to this scouting ability of, picking your filters and sifting through and spending your time scouting. Now, for every good player that was on this list, there is a million bad players, right? There is guys on this list that I'm like, incident transfer, right? This guy apparently he's not bad. I haven't actually seen him before, but apparently my scouts already scouted him. You put it to 11, you mark it at 15. You get guys like, oh, you looked at this guy, but unfortunately he wasn't that good, even though I think he looks okay. The game doesn't rate him. You look at Flavinio, for instance. You just got to be patient with it. There's actually someone who's on a free that I've not seen before. Hard to get these guys to come on trial, but sometimes it's worth, instead of scouting, to send them on trial. And they can also play in your 18s and help you there as well. So all these little tips of the trade. All right, Leicester themselves are flying. They got relegated last year. If you have a look at their, here, down, up as champions, went down again straight away. They still have a very good squad here. If you have a look at their schedule this year, they have been incredible, only losing to Watford. They got patted by Stoke, who have got a world-class side in the championship. When I mean world-class for the championship. Lost to Bristol in the Carabao Cup first round and lost to Blackburn, so not many games lost. In terms of this episode, we are going to play Leicester as the live comp. I'm also going to give you guys the breakdown goals of Norwich, who is definitely a team that is predicted to go up. Luton, a team that's predicted to go up, but we beat at home already this year. And Stoke City, who are currently second in the league. We're going to focus on Leicester, but give you the goals of all the next 3 games because it is a monstrous time to be a Wrexham fan, because we'll find out by the end of today's episode. Are we contenders or are we pretenders? I honestly think the way that it's going at the moment with our recent form, which I will touch on in a second, it's more likely that we've started the season really well, but we'll find ourselves fall back towards the middle of the pack. Lucky last is the first time I got to speak about Alberto series, signing on deadline day. Obviously, 575k once we get there over the next 3 years. It'll be that price. 4 assists and a goal. He's just here to play a system role with the target forward to be fine, a really good one. Hopefully, he will continue in the form. Since we last met too, which was after the Sheffield game for the last episode, pretty patchy. We beat a few sides. We lost to Hull, we lost to Blackburn, smacked Sheffield Wednesday, and we found ourselves 4-0 down at the racecourse. We actually lost 2 back-to-back games at the racecourse in a row in the league out of nowhere. We found ourselves 4-0 down to 4 shots on target, 5 shots in total in the first half, which was pretty poor. We nearly clawed it back in the second half, but yeah, we have not been in great form. I really do think we're on our way to probably finding this a little bit tough now to hang in this playoff race. But if we win this game, you just never know. Your team to take on Leicester's Arthur Ashby. Conser's definitely come into being the more first choice than over Edmondson. Mbake, Lyons Foster, Josh with his long throws, Connor Coventry. Lascelles is having a very tough year, to be fair, averaging a 6.62, 6.69 overall. Just don't think he's been natural in that Mazzala role. We might try to start moving into the attacking midfield role moving forward. But Dewberry, Mullen, and Cherry have all been playing pretty well this year, so it's hard to drop any of those 3. Let's get into it, see what we can do. I know it's been 11 minutes of talking, but if you have enjoyed that little bit of breakdown about the scouting side of things, definitely give it a like. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. As you can see there, they got Kaminsky in goal, Hadderbour's in there, Phillips, they've got James Justin still there, Warwick Faze is there, Dewsbury Hall was still there. Here is some names on that Leicester side that probably should be in the Premier League. They got Mr. Murphy on the left, Paulson's up front. Yeah, that is a team that deserves to win the championship, you would imagine. So we are probably playing the team that will win the championship. And if they win this game, Leicester, we're already at 8 points back versus a side that's not going to drop many games this year. You start to look at that first spot, and I know it's only December, but unless they start losing a few games in a row, you're probably in trouble. 26 minutes played here. It is 0-0, and we have yet to give Leicester a shot, which is superb. And this is the thing, we lose to a newly promoted side in Peterborough and Reading this year, and we've beaten the likes of a Luton at home. We've beaten Sheffield, lost to Burnley just away from home at Turf Moor. And against Leicester, been scoring goals for fun. We have a chance right on half-time as Josh with the long throw is headed away by Phillips, but only as far as Josh. Lyons Foster. Good ball into Connor Coventry. Ashby. Cuts it. Doesn't cut it. Instead, we forced the clearance. I will say this, every time we look to rotate the reserve side, we seem to lose as well. Just shows that we've got a pretty good first 11 for the championship, but outside of that, struggle with a little bit of quality on and off the bench. Ashby now cuts it. Lascelles, that's what I mean. Like, with Lascelles' technical ability, the position he should be getting in as a Mazzala, etc., that has to be a goal. Like, that has to be a goal. He's reminding me a lot of Andre Gomez or Arthur Gomez, whatever his name was. I think it was Andre Gomez from Everton last season that we sold at the start of this season. We didn't like him because the physicality wasn't there. Lascelles is physical. He just goes missing. And he never seems to get a good match rating. Like, that is a must score goal. 60-odd minutes played here. It is 0-0. I'm very happy with this. Leicester didn't score their first shot on target either. I'm over the moon with this game. I know that there hasn't been goals or whatever, but, sometimes you take a game like this, and I know it's ticking away here, and I will make some changes, but I'm very happy with this. Lascelles has had a stinker. Elliot Lee's been scoring goals for fun in the middle of the park, and Zati's going to come in as well to create. I think that's fine. I think this is the sort of game where you're crying out for a little bit of more creativity. Ollie Palmer's actually upset because he's not playing enough minutes apparently at the moment. Same with George Evans. He was upset not playing enough minutes. I've got 2 bids of $1 million for George Evans, which I cannot believe. Ollie Palmer doesn't think he's played enough off the bench, even though he's played 7 times this year. Yeah, I don't understand. With that being said, I think those are going to be the 2 changes here. I'm happy to leave the back 4 as it is because we haven't conceded yet. And we'll make those changes there. Harris and Ashby comes off. All right, Noah Hayes is going to definitely come on as well. Hopefully it's not a long-term injury for Ashby. Potential groin injury. Probably 4 weeks. We'd actually miss about 5 or so games this season. And Noah Hay will come out there at complete wing-back, who is a very good footballer. Time is ticking. Is there a last gasp highlight somewhere? I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm happy with a point, to be fair. I am going to make one last change here, and it's going to be O'Connor for Coventry, and that's more a time-wasting change than anything else. And time ticks. One of the most boring games that you're going to see as a live comm. It's finished 0-0 with no creativity. 3 shots, 2 versus 6 shots. We had one highlight. Lo Celso should have scored. He didn't. Arthur gets man of the match after only facing 3 shots. Just a very poor game in general. And this is the main reason why I'm going to give you the rest of the games. Away from home against Leicester, a 0-0 draw after we've been shipping goals. Mate, that is a very satisfying result. I know that that's not going to excite many people, but that's a point, and that's a massive point for us. This bid got rejected, so I'm going to just scout him. Harrison Aspie's out 3 to 4 weeks. That's fine. Palmer vows and Goldra. Wrexham lose Ashby for injury. We'll be okay. Noah Hay is not going to be playing under 21 football for the foreseeable future then. So available for the 21s is now no. And we're going to rest him for a couple of days. Now what we'll do here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is we are going to just go through and give you the goals of the rest of these next few games to see where we sit and if we are contenders or not. We do have Wolves in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. The board want us to be competitive, but competitive them is the 3rd round. So I would imagine as long as we don't get pumped by Wolves, we're going to be, the board will be happy with that objective. I'll see you guys in a second for the goals of the Norwich game, or maybe if it was a clean sheet. Well, boys, it's a win at home against Norwich, and what was a very end-to-end game, it has to be said. This game deserved to be the YouTube episode game. But at what cost? We lost Seri out to 3 to 4 weeks, Noah Hayes out for 3 weeks, and Elise's out for 1 to 3 days, and we played Luton in 4. That means that out of the team that did start and one of the guys that we already replaced in the episode, that's 3 first-team injuries. Fun at this time of year. Very, very fun. In terms of the goals, we had some pretty interesting goals, but if there was a way to show you the save, which it might be on key highlights, Arthur pulled off at 2-1 up a world-class save in the 63rd minute from a header. And if I can show you that first, I will. All right. Hopefully this allows me now to go just forward here. Yeah, 63rd minute is what we're after. Here we go. This is the back stick from Arthur to keep it at 2-1 is incredible. What a save. Has to be highlighted. Down, behind him, peels it off the line. Superb. All right, with that being said, let's go and have a look at the goals. I will say that Norwich's goal we saw from the 46th minute to the 48th minute all in game. A penalty won by Lo Celso. Lo Celso got a 6.6 starting in the hole, but, he didn't get a good match rating, but he looked really good. Rowe with the ball, Manning, Sargent's effort block, full straight to Mezzalou, which puts Arthur out of position. It's just one of those that you cop. And then the ball over the top from Lo Celso here, brilliant. Doesn't get any match rating for this. Amari Benjamin doing his thing. And this is it. In the Mazzala Lo Celso doesn't give me this. Elliot Lee, first time, fires one at pace, past gun at his near stick. I don't get that from any other player but Elliot Lee in the Mazzala role. So I'm very tempted to play Elliot Lee moving forward. That puts us in a very good position where we sit, obviously, in 4th. We play Luton next. In terms of the team that started for the day, it was as followed. Obviously, we moved Lo Celso into the hole, Lee in the Mazzala role. I decided to let Mullen play with Seri still. Dewberry came off the bench as a striker just to help, rotate a little bit of legs. And Lo Celso played in the hole to see what it would do. I actually really didn't mind it, so I might keep that sort of similar lineup, especially with another injury to a more forward player. In terms of Norwich's lineup, for those that are wondering here in the Championship, quickly, you had Gunn in net, Luke Ayling, Ben Gibson, Kempf, Manning, Sarah, Badgetex on loan for Liverpool. You also had Jonathan Roy and Sargent up front. A very good time. You got Gulashi on the bench, which I do not understand how he's not playing ahead of Gunn because he's world class. Yeah, it's a very good Norwich side, and they actually sit 9th from the start and struggle a little bit, which is a little bit odd as well. See you guys in a second for the Luton game. Let's see if we can do the double over them, because we did beat them at home earlier on this year. 92nd minute highlight versus Stoke, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I've just brought Ollie Palmer on in the 90th. It's 0-0. Finished 0-0 against Luton. I will show you guys that result in a second. Elliot Lee, Connor Coventry. Oh my God. Tyler Owen, 17 finishing. I tell you, he's the best Welsh Wonderkid I've ever had. The Welsh regen scores his first ever goal in the Championship, his second ever goal for the club, and with his non-preferred left peg has just maybe got us a win against Stoke. Connor Coventry, ball through, away from goal, nothing on. He goes, I got 17 finishing. I'll just have a pop anyway. And he beats Tickle, and we lead 1-0 versus Stoke, who are currently top of the Championship. And well, boys, there was your goal We won 1-0. Tyler freaking Owen. He's done it again, boys. Second ever goal for the club. What a moment to go back into all of this. That was a great result. The live stream saw it first, so obviously follow the links down below to watch our Twitch link. And that was outrageous. We brought him on, we moved Paul Mullen to the left-hand side as a poacher, and then we brought on Ollie Palmer in the last gasp embers to try and win the game. Well, there we go. That was a 1-0 win. Are we contenders or are we pretenders? Another injury for the boys as well. I don't know. I have to show you guys how good the Data Hub looked in that game. Firstly, we dominated a very good side. Secondly, we have one of the best attacks in the league, if not the best. Us and Leicester are neck and neck. We have one of the weirdest sort of defenses in the league where we concede a lot of shots faced per game, and oppositions generally convert. Oppositions generally convert their chances, but we don't face too many shots, and it leaves us in this weird position where we're leaky but quiet, and it's odd. We generally concede a lot of chances, which is not normal, but that's a clean sheet. That's brilliant. That means we kept, in the last 4 games, in the biggest 4 games of the season, the biggest stretch of 4 games, we kept a clean sheet against Leicester. We beat Norwich 2-1. We kept a clean sheet away from home against Luton, and we scored a 93rd minute winner to keep a clean sheet as well against Stoke. Now, I'm going to touch on the Luton side first, just so you guys can see the Luton game. Even game, could have gone either way. This is the Luton lineup playing 5 at the back, similar-ish to what they've kind of got in the Prem third season in. Donnelly's there, Adebayo was on the bench, Harry Souttar's there, which actually fits him. Tata Chong's in there too off the bench. Tom Lockie is obviously there, Doherty. So not a bad side. And then this Stoke side is incredible for the quality. That's our lineup there. I actually went Dewberry and Alzati to move Lo Celso and Elliot Lee as more experienced heads. Wesley Moraes should not be here. 40 to 48 million, worth more than my whole club by a mile. 24 games, 18 goals and 7.4. That's the sort of season he's having. And that's not the only guy that you look at this Stoke side and you're here. Holgate's at the back. Look how good Holgate is. Physically a monster for the championship. You're looking at Lascelles, who for this level at 32 years of age is incredible. Fits Stoke to a plum, typical Stoke signing. And then looking at Noah Warren, the 18-year-old who should never be here. If he was playing out wide, you'd just be like, oh my goodness. But yeah, this kid will end up playing for Arsenal or be a very good Premier League footballer at another football club if he doesn't make it at Arsenal. But what a footballer to have in the Championship. And that's why they were top. They're now second. And all of a sudden, you look at that, we're only 4 points back of Leicester. We're 3 points back of Stoke. Are we contenders or are we pretenders? I actually think we're contending a little bit after what we've just saw. If we lost 1 or 2 more of those games, we went on a bit of a losing streak for here, we're pretenders. To go through this run, keep some clean sheets, show some grit and determination, I honestly think we are contending. And instead of maybe looking just to stay up this season, instead of looking to finish top half, instead of looking to make maybe a sneaky little run at the playoffs, I really think from what we've seen so far, that as long as the squad stays injury-free, which is hard to do at the moment, we might, just might, look at promotion football, or even better, we might just be contending to get to the Premier League already in only our 3rd season. With that being said, give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you for checking out another video. When you see this go live, I would have actually gone away for the weekend to go play poker and come back home to Adelaide. So hopefully when you see this video, I've won the main event or something. Obviously, probably not, but that's the way it goes and the cookie crumbles. But what it does mean, with the Twitch link down below, we are live most nights that we are in Adelaide and not playing poker, which is majority. So yeah, definitely go and check the link out, especially with the Christmas holidays coming around. It might be a good time to check out that link. With Damo, with Rex, and with everybody else here in the Twitch stream. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.